Well, there's nothing better when the sun is shining and you get outside in your backyard, enjoy the sun's rays. But what happens when a neighbour's ginormous tree comes and blocks that light away? I'm with Adina from Thorn Law, who's here to tell us what our rights are. So Adina, what does the law say about the tree blocking my light?
You're not allowed to have a tree that blocks somebody's sunlight.
Really?
But it's not quite as clear as that. It's like got to be, really quite large that it's actually causing a nuisance. But, as a rule of thumb, if you ask your neighbour and you say, it's totally blocking my sunlight, they should prune that tree.
Okay, what if they don't?
Well, tricky. So for sunlight, you own the bottom of the ground to the top of this earth.
So that's what I own. I own
right up.
upwards.
That whole arc you own. So they can't interfere with your sunlight.
Good to know.
But to actually make them cut that tree or prune that tree, you probably have to go to court unless you ask them nicely. Wow. But it is a nuisance.
Absolutely. Okay, we talked about going up the tree. What about the other end of it? Trees' roots destroying the ground. I mean, they can lift foundations. How do you resolve that? What happens there?
You're only allowed to cut someone's tree up to your boundary. But if their roots are causing damage on your side, that's also a nuisance and you can ask them to stop.
Okay.
This is really one of these areas which is a grey area in the law. If it's reasonably foreseeable, so that tree next door is so big and its roots are causing damage to your property, yes, you can ask that tree to be cut down.
Okay. Can I kill the tree myself?
Not really.
Okay.
You can't really kill your neighbour's tree.
Did sound a bit mean, didn't it?
Well, you can go to the council and you can go to the courts. Wow. And that's the right place to go for that kind of thing.
Okay. And if the tree's on the boundary?
Yeah, good one.
Here or there?
Yeah, so when people say that to me, that's interesting. They always say the tree's on the boundary. What you actually mean, to be pedantic about it, is probably the trunk's on the boundary. And so there's this interesting thing about, is the trunk on the boundary? And actually, in the law, you can have common ownership of that tree if there's two of you, or triple ownership if there's three of you at that boundary.
Gosh.
Because you own the trunk together. Now, in reality, that's actually really rare, because who cuts up land with a tree down the middle? I mean, someone's made a mistake somewhere.
Okay.
But yeah, it can happen. But you can prune everything up to that boundary line. But if the trunk crosses your side, you're not really supposed to cut that trunk to the point of killing that tree.
Okay, good to know. There is a lot to know, and if you want some help when it comes to buying, selling, or anything in between with property, Adina is an expert from Thorn Law. So follow our series for more.